Hi everybody and welcome to the channel. I am Richard. Today I'm gonna bring you back in the ages up in the cold north and show you Blood of the Northmen. This is a 1 to 4 player game. It's from 30 to 60 minutes. It's made by Czacha games by Karl Kuduk. It's a fun strategic game where you portray as a Jarl trying to just take over the land, build strongholds, visit cities and drink mead. I mean, it's quite fun. It has a solo option as well. This one have already been out as a Kickstarter, but they're launching it again. You can find that link down in the description. I'm gonna go over the gameplay here and give you an overview of the game, so let's just have a look at it. The first thing a player needs to do is to pick up a Jarl board. This will be your player board during your game session. Out here you will have your 12 corresponding miniatures. As you can see on the picture here, he's holding an axe, so you should pick up the miniature holding an axe. After that you pick up the player aid tile and put under the board. And then you need to randomly select a special ability. Once everybody have chosen their Jarl and picked up their miniatures, it's time for us to mix up some tiles. There's 120 of these tiles in this game, and these are the ones that we will use to actually build the map later on. If you are a 4-player game, you need all of the 120 tiles. If you're a 3-player game like we are now, we need 90 tiles. And if you're a 1 to 2-player game, you need 60 of these tiles. And they should be mixed up really good. Once you have mixed up these tiles really good, you hand out one tile to each player face up. The player that gets the most mountain sides is the one that will get the first player token and gets to go first. Now, if there is a tie, these two players need to fight each other with axes. No. You just keep on giving out tiles until one of them actually gets the most mountainsides. But it would have been cool with axe fight. Once you have established who's the first player, you keep on giving out tiles. And you should keep on giving out tiles until the first player have 3 tiles, the second player has 4 tiles, the third player has 5 tiles. Finally, you place the stronghold miniatures next to the draw pile. Let's take a closer look on how the tiles actually look. As you can see, you have different types of sides on the tiles. You have forest sides, you have empty sides, road sides, lake sides, and you have mountain sides. Now, when you do your actions, as you can see here on the player 8 tiles, you need to do the forest actions, then the lake actions, then the road actions, and finally the mountain actions. So I'm the first player, which means that I get to go first. So I get to pick a tile from my hand, place it face up in the middle of the gaming area for everyone to see and reach, and start to do my actions. Now, like I said before, every tile has a unique side to it. This one has a forest side, a lake side, road side, and a mountain side, but it also has a little village in the middle of the tile, which means that with this one tile I can actually do all the actions. But since the map really isn't built yet, there's not much point of doing a lot of the actions. But let's start with the forest action. This one grants you to either place a warband on the middle of the map or take a tile from the drawing pile. Since I'm going to get a lot of tiles from this one tile, I'm going to pick to put out my warband. So now we move into the lake actions, but there's no lake here. So I have 2 choices. Either I can, well, do nothing or draw a tile from the drawing pile. And then we come into the road side, which is the same thing here. There's really no road. There's no way for me to travel. So instead of doing the road action, which really gets me nothing, I draw a tile from the drawing pile. The mountain would grant me to fight somebody on the map, but again, I'm all alone here. So instead of that, I just draw another tile. So now that I'm done with my turn, it's the second player's turn, and they get to choose a tile that they want to place on the map. They choose this one, connecting it with my tile adjacent side by side. It has to be side by side, it couldn't be placed corner to corner. So this is the way that the second player have to place their tile. They could of course choose to put it up here, forest to forest or mountain to mountain, as long as it is adjacent to my tile. But they want to put it road to road. Now that they have placed their tile, they move into the action phase. And as you can see here, they have the forest, road and mountain action. But they don't have the lake action as there's no lake on this. Now that this player has placed his tile, it's time for them to figure out what they want to do with their first action, the forest action. Remember, they have two choices. They can choose to put out a warband on the tile or take a new tile from the drawing pile. This player wants to place out a little miniature on it, which moves them into the road action instead, as there was no lake, remember? There's only one road on this tile, but it's connected to two sides, giving this player two road actions. So this figure could move two tiles, but as there's only one tile to move to, it only moves one space. Now, even if this player have one road action left, they can't use it. They can't move any further and you can't split the actions, which means that you can't choose to move and then choose to use the last road action to pick a tile. It would have to be two tiles or two movements. Once this player is done with the road action, we move into the mountain action. This is the fight action. Here you can choose to either, battle your enemies or draw tiles from the drawing pile. This player wants to fight me. We have one warband miniature each, which gives us one tile each to fight with. Which means that if this player would have had two warbands on this tile, they would get to draw two tiles from their hand and I would only get to draw one. But we have one each, so we get one tile from the hand each. And the way these battles are done is that you should pick the tile that you have in your hand with the most mountain sides on them, or what you think that you need to actually beat the other player. As you can see here, I have one mountain side, the player here has two mountain sides, which means that they win. If this would have been a draw, we would both have to take away our miniatures from the board, but since this player wins, I get to take away my miniature, and they get a victory point up here on their player board. Once you have figured out who won and the battle is over, these tiles goes into the discarded pile. Your miniature that was defeated in battle goes back to your board. So now it's the third player's turn. We have two tiles on the board and we are starting to build the map bigger and bigger. From now on, each tile needs to be connected by two sides. Which means that you can't put it like we did before by just one side adjacent. It needs to be connected to two sides. Once this player have placed their tile, they keep on going with the actions. The actions you choose to do during your turn does not have to be connected with the tile you place this turn. Meaning that if I place this tile over here, for example, and I want to do a road action, I can still move my warband way over here. And if I want to do the lake action, I could choose to move these troops over here. So they do not have to be connected with the tile you're placing on your turn. Same thing if you place a mountain tile over here, you could still choose to battle way over there, as long as you have troops on the same tile as the enemy. Remember that each side on the tiles is one action, which means that with this tile here, I could do 1, 2 lake actions. So I could choose to either move these ones 2 steps, or move them 1 step, and then this warband 1 step. So you can split these actions between the different warbands on the map. The same thing goes with mountainsides. If you have 2 or 3 mountainsides, you could do 1, 2 or 3 battles on the map. At the beginning of your turn, before taking any actions while placing the tile, you can choose to put a stronghold on it, alongside with one of your warband miniatures. This gives you some benefits. It gives you the benefit that the enemy can't attack you from this road as it is blocked off by your stronghold. Plus, while putting down different kinds of villages tiles, and you need to calculate all the men to get bonuses, the stronghold also counts as a warband. In this game, you will also find different types of cities. There's 4 of these cities in a total, and they will give you different types of abilities in your gameplay. These ones should be played right after you put down a tile on the board and before your basic standard actions. And like I said, they give you different abilities. This one, for example, the Pelt Town, this one will, well, have you take away the scores you've earned so far, but you will get to take new ones. Each for each miniature that you have in a town on the map. So this one can be quite strong. Then we have the Tusk Town. This one will give you the ability to take a tile from your hand and prepare it for future battles. So if you have a tile on your hand with a lot of mountains on them and you play this tile, then you can put that tile away and use it and be really ready when somebody wants to battle you. Then we have the Mead Town. This is the place where your little Vikings go to take a relaxing time, meaning that you take a miniature and you put it aside until you need an extra turn, because you will be able to use that miniature as an extra turn. Quite good. And then we have the Silver Town. The Silver Town gets you the ability to bribe other warbands that are on the same tile as you. So if you have this and you're on a tile, you can simply just remove the other warbands. It's quite great. As I said at the start of this video, this is a 1 to 4 player game, meaning that there's a solo mode in it. I have played this a few times and I really enjoyed it, but you need to like the fact that you need to read a text on what the enemy is going to do, because it's not automatic. Like I showed you before, there is a tiny number on the tiles down here. This number corresponds with a number on the text in the back of the rulebook, telling you if the enemy moves, how they move, if they prepare for battle, if they battle, and so on. So this means that you make your turn. You place a tile, you play out all your actions, but when you're done, you draw a tile from the drawing pile, find the number in the text, read what the enemy does, and then you do it for them. So there you have it, people. That was Blood of the Northmen for you. This is a fun strategic tile drawing game. To be quite honest, I did not expect that much of this game, mainly because I do not like tile drafting games that much. But this one really did it for me. Building your own little map, moving your men around, having little battles, building strongholds. I really liked it, and I highly enjoyed the solo mode as well, which I did not expect either, but it really worked good. So if you like strategic tile drawing games, you should check this one out. Like I said in the beginning, they have a Kickstarter out now. The link will be down in the description, so just check it out. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me playing games and showing you how they work, press the subscribe button. And until next time, please take care of each other.